making remotes to because
to earn a little
better, which a little plenty better, you know. And then we've spoken to other industry professionals, but then one industry that we haven't touched, your industry, Winston, which you've been a part of some way as a photo video. So why don't they call videographers video and they call photographers photo?
I think that now from the 80s. I can literally say the photos probably from the
because
80s.
you didn't have videos then.
Yeah, not as
about
much
photos.
Yeah.
Well, yes. So graphic designers, photographers, videographers are really, really undervalued. People say stuff like, "Oh, come and take pictures," and you come and you take them, and somebody will just send you a message. The pictures are not nice. Somebody will tell you come and shoot the video for their event, and they tell you to shoot the video in a certain way, and you're wondering like, the budget you gave me and what you're asking for, not they correlate. And then when it comes to graphic designers, even the worst, they are the ones who suffer the most because everybody seems to think that they can use, paint to design something. So I've handled a graphics department before, and I can tell you, it was the hardest task. When somebody comes in, then everyone seems to think that they have an opinion about design, and so the graphic designer does the design, sends it out. Somebody who's gone to school to learn how to do these things, then someone who's never in their lives ever opened
someone
Photoshop.
Who doesn't know what color theory
Thank
is.
you. I was coming to that, and I'm glad that you threw that in. Comes and says, "Why don't you make here red and make here indigo and here violet?" And then the graphic designer looks at the person like, "Really? You want me to do that?"
The worst part is when there's no cohesive idea about what they want.
Actually want. They can't communicate what they
then
want.
they'll tell you that, oh, use your discretion. After you use your discretion, you'll be like, no.
No, but it gets better. Or should I say it gets worse?
It gets worse.
It gets worse when you finish and they say, like, you charge them, graphic designer charges for a job, and they're like, oh, 2,000. Like, just this thing that you're coming to click, right? Or imagine that you finish it in record time. So, like, they give you the task, 10 minutes later, or, you're done. That same day, you're done. So the thing wasn't hard like that, So, yes, we're about to talk to graphic designers, videographers. We have one here, Romeo. He's a graphic designer here at Multimedia Group. And
don't be afraid.
I'm cool.
Don't mention names, but don't be afraid.
And he freelances as well. He does his own stuff too on the side. He also does videography and photography as well. Yeah. So he's a creative guy. Let me just put it that way. He's a creative guy. And we have Winston here, who's a creative guy as well, videographer and editor. And then we have Michael, who dabbles in everything just like me. So we're in the middle. We're like the Swiss Army knives that don't get the actual job done, but they can screw something in just to hold it.
We know how to make it look like it worked.
Yeah, So if you're someone who is in the industry, if you're a creative person and you feel the pain, share your story with us. Send us a WhatsApp, 055 111 997, 055 1111 997, 055 1111 997. We're doing this because we want people to understand what it takes to create.
Actually, on that note, if you don't know and you think, but these boys are just making noise for nothing, please let us know where we're making noise for nothing, and we can explain to you where the gaps in understanding lie.
Or if you think that, hey, this thing will be easy, go if you do by the end of the show, I want you to, use any. I see, if I tell you to download Photoshop, so that's the first hurdle you have to go over, or Corel Draw. I mean,
there are free alternatives.
Please, somebody go and open Canva and just take somebody's templates and edit it for you now. So we're not going to give you assignments, but if you think that you can do something showy right now, by the time we finish the show, you drop it in the WhatsApp inbox 055 1111 997. Let's see what you did. You're not a graphic designer, like you're just starting off. I want to see how creative you can be. We're going to take a quick commercial break.
Use Canva.
Please, if you use Canva, we'll catch you. We'll use ChatGPT to catch you. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Before we get to the conversation proper, I'm going to let Winston take us down the news street.
So, the news headline for this week. First is a group of 17 music publishers in the US has sued Twitter for $250 million, claiming the platform enabled copyright violations involving nearly 1,700 or 1,700 songs. Yes, Twitter again.
Wow.
Second, iPhone maker Foxconn is betting big on electric cars and drawing some of its supply chains as it navigates a new era of tense Washington-Beijing relations. Yes, the trade wars are still ongoing. Third, influencers in firing line as France tackles scams. So basically in France now, if you're an influencer and you want to publicize anything or give any endorsement to anything, you have to make sure that you clearly state whatever it is. And if you fail to do this, you can see up to 2 years imprisonment.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Well, that's news for some of our influencers if we catch here.
Yeah. Next, Reddit hackers demand $4.5 million ransom and API pricing changes. So last week, I don't know if we mentioned it, but last week, Reddit was in a blackout because the Reddit company was charging for the use of the API. I don't want to get deeply into it, but apparently, Reddit was hacked in February this year. Now the hackers are saying, okay, now we are here for our ransom. We want $4.5 million and want you guys to go back to the API being free. Very interesting.
This whole API conversation started from Elon Musk.
It's
that Elon.
Next, WhatsApp can now silence calls from unknown numbers. So now in your settings, there's a toggle for screening spam calls and text messages. So if you don't know the person, the calls wouldn't even come through. So I'm sure that's exciting. Spiky, has that been on Telegram for years now? Moving on. Google is adding some more features to its Chrome iOS browser to tempt iPhone users away from Safari. Chrome on iOS is getting inbuilt Google Lens support soon, which will allow Chrome users to search for anything they are using, they can see using their cameras. Now, my question to this is, do iPhone users even use Safari?
I was just about to ask the same question. Like, I know Mac users don't even use Safari.
Yeah.
Let alone, well, dear resident iPhone user, does thou use
uses Chrome.
Safari?
No, uses Mozilla actually.
Anyway, incognito mode, and I think we've ended this. We have reached the end of this conversation.
Oh, the final news was actually very interesting. So, some people are lost under the sea. 5 people in the ocean.
Wait, this is not a figure of speech.
No, it's not a figure of speech. So it's called Ocean Gate. It's a company that does underwater tours, and they were doing an underwater tour close to the Titanic. But when they got close to the Titanic, all communication is lost. Now, the reason why this pertains to tech in any way is the interesting fact that this Ocean Gate submarine is controlled by a Logitech wireless gamepad. I am not joking. But anyway, to more serious part of it, apparently the vessel has about 96 hours of oxygen in there. They are currently looking for these people, and they've been lost since Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is scary.
Yeah.
But still doesn't stop me from wishing that I would go undersea.
Okay.
Why?
Sure.
What? Why?
In between the thalassophobia and claustrophobia.
Let's explore the
Oh, and let me clarify the first news. The reason why the news about Twitter is getting this copyright violation suit is important is because if Twitter loses, you can't just post anything on Twitter anymore. There's songs and stuff like that, and people believe it's going to open a floodgate of more copyright.
It has
control.
been happening. I know a couple of people who've had their accounts banned because they posted copyright content.
Yes.
So the onus lies on the copyright owner to issue a DMCA strike against the content, and then most of the time they don't sue the people that posted. They sue the platform.
That's why YouTube doesn't play about copyright stuff.
And that's why Facebook has also started, and it's just flagging.
Yeah.
Stuff, right? Anyways,
that's
copyright's a big deal. So yes, thank you very much, Winston, for the news.
Yeah.
And so we go into the conversation. If you didn't join us in the beginning, I was talking about how today we're having a conversation with creators. When I say creators, I'm talking about graphic designers, photographers, videographers, people who use technology to create images, visuals that you consume and love, and people that you contract to do these things for you, and how you're probably underpaying them or how you're probably undervaluing their skill. So we're going to have this conversation, and I'm inviting you as well to join us in the conversation. If you are a creator of any sort, you can send us a WhatsApp message 055 111 997 055 11 11 997 055 1111 997. Let us know your experience as a creator and your experience as someone who's contracting a creator to do something for you. Mind you, some creators give us the vibes of a typical Ghanaian artisan. You give them the job and they'll tell you, oh, it will be ready by tomorrow. Then you start calling them and they'll quench their phone on you.
I mean, as in every business, there's a there's a kaleidoscope of people. Like, there are different types of people in every market. Me personally, when I'm working, I don't even like to take the money till I'm done. Because here's my mantra. I don't want you to have anything over me. I want to have something over
So you basically want to say that, hey, you haven't paid me, so I can take my time.
No, so I believe in finishing the day. So normally back then when I was shooting weddings and stuff like that, I shoot and edit and deliver at least the first rough cuts to the clients by end of the day. Because I don't know, I don't like the stress of, and for me, with the creative process can get very boring if I leave it to sit on ice.
The creative process can get boring.
Yes, it
Wildly.
can. Because if you went, let's say for instance, you went to shoot an event or you shot an ad or you shot something and you did it today, the adrenaline or the excitement about it lingers for only a few days. If within that window you don't get majority of the, for me personally, majority of the creative stuff, back-end creative stuff done, it becomes a chore to do it when the vim is gone. And that's when the long and quenching your phone comes. I've never done that before because I always like to finish within a week. You and I must
for me, I think it's a matter
of.
Wait.
Have you quenched your phone with somebody before? Be honest.
For me, I'm a professional graphic designer. I normally come up front with my clients that this is how I work. When it's an intensive project, like let's say the project is going to take like a month, and the money involved is quite huge. But I normally don't like to wait to the end of the project before I take. So I'll rather draft a contract where I'll
50-50.
I'll decide the percentage where you have to pay. So I mostly do 50% and above. So when it comes to that, then they do part payment. But with some clients, as we are saying, like we become a local Ghanaian artisan, like some graphic designers act as like local Ghanaian artisans. This one comes in terms when the clients show themselves like who they are and like how they work with people. So with that, you mostly don't want to waste time working with them. So I had a client recently that we have this kind of clients that they were Ghanaian, they're like this, they lived in Ghana but they went to stay in abroad, and
the worst.
Good. and the problem I had with this client was that with them, you charge them when you're done with the work. You're going to charge them in their currency. They'll be like, "Oh, bring it back to Ghana cedis. Let's see how much is it in Ghana cedis." Then when he converts the money back into Ghana cedis, you'll be like, "Oh, it's too much. It's too much." And even there are people that live in this part of, or let's take the example, Accra Newtown. They'll be like, and this is the amount of money that they charge. Then you have to educate them that, like, what the feedback I gave to the lady was, the client was that. Carry on. The feedback I gave to the client was that a bottle of water can be sold
nice
at the roadside for 2 Ghana cedis. But when you go to Alisa Hotel, when you go to any other hotel, it can be sold at 20 Ghana cedis or 10 Ghana cedis. Why didn't you send it to them for them to work on it for you? So like, it's a matter about the clients that you are dealing with. Yeah. And sometimes to, as you said, when the adrenaline comes in when you want to work, and like you don't work when like you feel like you want to work and you let time pass by. Yeah, it slows down the workflow.
I mean, to add to the first challenge we creatives face is always the client. I'm sure all of you can attest to this.
When you say all of you, are you talking about the clients or all other
all
graphic?
Of you sitting here and all other creatives. The clients who pay the big bucks, they don't ask a single question.
Winston, sorry.
You don't see. They don't.
No, you see.
To be honest with you, yeah.
See, when your last money, or you come out to do something, you don't pay no.
I get it, but there's a reason you came to me. So in the beginning, when me and my colleagues...
Winston, hold on. Before you continue, I have to make this shout out because I know there's a section of the creators that are not being acknowledged here, and I'm sure their pain is the worst. Creators who are part of
companies?
Yeah. Companies or
an
agency. Without there's no, you can negotiate the kind, at least there's some
they have to do.
They're
not freelancing. But I mean, Romeo falls within that category as well.
I also falls within that category because I know how it feels like. You will do something and it will go out there, but the recognition doesn't come to the creative. They don't know that we normally do the content, create the content, but it's more like a movie. And a video editor or the videographer,
director, nobody even knows.
Yeah, it's
the star.
Like let's say the extraction like this. Everybody knew that the main character was the face and he made the movie, but they didn't know that the VFX actors, the director.
Oh, this one they actually knew the director.
Well, who?
Sam Hargrave. Like, okay, well,
please, I don't even.
I'm here to watch the movie and watch.
They know him because he's a stunt coordinator. He used to.
You said they.
Okay, never mind.
No, Extractor Shintu was not a good example for this, but the principle stands to reason that like you see the face of the people who made the face. Actually, you know what? Better
Oppenheimer.
No,
please,
Oppenheimer's not there.
Winston is always mentioning things that the regular Ghanaian. Yeah.
Right.
Now we are talking all bold and a beautiful Sunset Beach and things.
Say, comport yourself. you see the actors and actresses, then you see the special effects and wow, great story and all that. Then when they do that special episode at the end and everything's black, you can't see. Then you're saying, oh, the people who edited it, why don't they know what they are doing? And all. Meanwhile,
when you watch the whole series, you never complained. So that one, I always say, y'all should have gotten a QLED.
Yeah, I remember that time. But the creative process when it comes to dealing with clients, I think what Michael said is true. Like when it comes to dealing with clients in the creative space, the more barriers of communication to the ultimate clients there is, the bigger the chore it is for the creative. Because like Michael said, those who work in a company, the boss or whoever got the contract to hear it, then you pass it to a sub boss, who passes to a sub boss, and then bring it to the head of your team, and the head of your team. After all those layers of communication,
it has been diluted. It has been, it reminds me of that video. I think it's on TikTok and Instagram where people are facing each other like behind, and someone is writing something on your back, and you're the one who's in front. You're supposed to draw it. By the time it gets to the last person, it's a totally different thing, and that's what happens. And like when the communication goes through a lot of steps.
Exactly. So when it comes to creatives, because to be honest, a creative job sometimes it's a lot about feeling. So if the person cannot articulate what they're feeling they want, especially let's say graphic design, you want a logo, but like there's impact to the logo. There's a reason why the Nike just that check,
the swoosh
is just that great. There's a reason why. If any of you watch the Air
movie,
there's a reason why now Jordans are so big, because the team that put it together, they put a lot of heart and soul into it. So if you put more barriers, by that time it's like this way chocolate drink that you are using one sachet and you are using 2 liters of water.
Again, another shout out to my corporate creatives, because I'm like that. If you feel like when those things come, yes, sometimes you have your principles and you have your timeline. Oh, I need to get it done by X amount of time, so I can schedule my time and I know when I can get into the need to get the work done. But when you're in around, you don't have that choice. It's like work hours are now. Yeah. Your creativity has started now.
You see, but I also believe that we need to understand where the regular I'm talking about somebody who's not creative.
Yeah, a client.
We need to understand where the clients come. Yeah, how the role they play, because a client does not know most of the time how to communicate what they're seeing in their minds.
Yeah,
which is why I'm happy that there's a thing like DALL-E for you to go and type an example of what you want to see and then bring that to a graphic designer.
That get very, very bad real quick.
Yeah,
because there are people who don't know how to interface.
even explain what they're imagining.
Yeah,
you see, so
just free tip. Use ChatGPT. Sometimes when you write the nonsense in your mind, air quotes nonsense in your mind in ChatGPT, it's able to put it together into a congruent, articulate sentence that you can actually be like, okay, this is how I was feeling.
Yeah, but sometimes when the person, you see the image in a person's mind is so vague. And that's why sometimes you do it and the person looks like, nah, this is not what
exactly. That's why I would say that creativity is a lot about feeling.
Yeah.
If it's not, so that's what we talk about, the Goldilocks complex when it comes to creativity.
Yeah.
There are some. If it's too hot, it's too hot. If it's too cold, it's too cold. It just has to be just right. And to get to that just right point,
sometimes you have to deep inside a client's like perspective, mind, and know what the person is thinking about. Like know the feeling, know what he or she sees. So sometimes before I create, when it comes to logo designs, like before I create the logo, I normally perceive the clients, especially when I visit the client's office. I normally see the how the arrangement of the office, like how the person lives. All those things come to consideration. People don't take notes of those things. How the person works, that like whether if the person likes a certain type of like lifestyle, like he likes wearing designer dresses, likes
the person like flamboyant or minimalist. That could determine what kind of
tell. So with all those kind of, you take those things into consideration. That's why like when it comes to like a firm like this, and you have to like corrections have to pass through certain levels of stages before it gets to the creative to make changes or make adjustments to certain items. It becomes very complicated because everybody sees things differently from what So it will just come down to, before it comes to the creative, then like
has gone
That
through
has become
a
something
blender.
else.
It's a whole smoothie right now. So if you're listening to us and you are an agent, you're a business, and your graphic designer takes orders from a chain. Let's eliminate some of the links in that chain. If possible, all of the links.
Yeah.
Let it be a direct communication. And creatives, be vocal, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say. Get closer to the ideator.
Yeah.
The person coming up, the idea generator, and let the person, you have to feel what the person is feeling so you can translate. And then you don't stress, because I've seen creatives go through serious anxiety and nervous breakdowns just because they have spent hours creating something only to be told, no, this is not what I want. Shout outs to you, Rashid.
but to even add to what Spike is saying, I mean, especially agencies, if you don't want the creatives to hear how much you are charging, that's fair. That's fair. Me, I'm not going to hate on that, but at least bring them to the table when it comes to the discussion about what it is the project is going to be. At least, bare minimum, the team lead. So if you're an agency and this company wants to work with you on this, look at the portfolio of your teams. Which one style matches this company the best, and just get that team, bring their team head in, then they talk, and then you can feel the client and the creative can feel each other out, and then it helps. It will shorten production timelines if we're able to do this.
I think what people need to realize is that creators are not just there. They're not just those people that you just throw words at them and they generate something for you. Creators, I mean, if you are religious in any way, you know that creation is something that takes...
It's planned. It's like very...
7 days, Seth, and he had to rest.
It's very... There's a word I'm trying to use, but it's very thought through.
I don't want to use a certain word, but it's sacred. Creation is sacred, regardless of what it is. I'm not talking about only graphics, photography, or whatever. Even chefs, people who cook food, whatever it is, anything people create is sacred. If you do not treat it as something that needs to be given as much attention as it deserves, it ends up becoming crap.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're an architect, if you're building a house and you let your architect do anything for you,
look,
it's dangerous.
I'm going to be honest right here, straightforward about architects and stuff. Ghanaians, please stop using draftsmen. They are not architects. Draftsmen.
How do they tell the difference?
Go to a firm.
We can't pay. You say draftsmen. People they go take the by day workers now, and now they build a house for them.
But you're talking about we trying to understand the perspective of the
clients. Yes.
Yes, it is a fair argument that we need to understand. That's why when you talked about that I said they are the worst. It's kind of true. In my experience, the clients who were born in Ghana, grew up here for a while, left, and then came back. Dealing with them is totally different. Then there's dealing with expat clients who think that you are proverbially trying to cheat them. There's always this. It's like when it comes to the Ghanaian creative space, every client, even among the creative themselves, everybody feels like the money isn't plenty on the table. So if you are coming for something, you are trying to cheat me of something, and it's a very, very weird way.
So bottom line, creators are not being paid enough.
Yeah, that's a fact. And because creatives are not being paid enough, the creative industry in Ghana is terrible. If we take just Nigeria, the creative industry of Nigeria, it's
very good. I've so far had like 2 Nigerian clients, and with the experience with Nigerian clients and like people who are really based like outside the country, it's really good because they understand who a creative is. They understand the design process, like the things you go through, the time you spend, like creating storyboards, like all those things, making sure that like you go through the right process so that they understand what you are trying to produce. And when they are paying you, they know like this, the sweat, and this is the time and the effort you have put into. Like you've placed your soul into the work. Because as you said, art is not just it's not just a mere thing. Yeah. But when it comes to Leonardo da Vinci and people see his artworks, like he placed something in it. Like it's more like a part of his soul.
Yeah.
So when someone is doing a creative work for you and like it's part of him. Like I was more like of a soul.
That is why I said it's sacred.
Yeah, so, it's pouring into the thing.
You know what I think the problem is? I think we should backtrack a bit. This is where the problem is, from my perspective. If you finish JSS and you're going to school and you don't pass, you get visual arts. This is where it begins.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that. I was going to say that.
See, we don't
Ghanaians
put
have
value
a certain
on creativity.
Disregard for the imagination.
I remember very, very clearly the reaction of a parent when the child said, "I'm doing visual art."
I don't know if that still happens today. Though.
I mean, but then I mean,
back in the day,
I was also a victim. Like I wanted to do visual arts in school. Because I started drawing way back in JHS, where I used to be the guy that people normally come to my class to come and draw on illustrations on their boards for them. So I was that guy. So everybody knew that, Romeo there is a visual art student. But when I went home and I told my dad that, I wanted to become a visual artist, he was like, you're going to become a lawyer. Look at you. Like seriously, like
that also happened to a friend of mine in my class in Motown. She wanted to do visual arts. Her parents were like, nah, medicine.
Say lawyer.
He said, you're going to go a lawyer, so it's better you go and do general arts or like Charlie. You go and learn
your career for you.
The issue is, I think Ghana hasn't crossed the idea. The first problem is that Ghana is extremely small. The market is extremely niche. So we've not seen a lot of outliers that have done so well. We haven't seen a lot of, because what happens in an industry to boom or break the industry is that when the outliers, the people who are doing the air quotes weird, odd, random stuff that people traditionally do not value, when they blow and they make a lot of money, everybody's attention goes in that direction. We've not had a lot of those in Ghana. What was supposed to helm this, the Ghana movie industry, hasn't been great, in my opinion. I love Kumawood though. Shout outs. And also the music industry has been like it hasn't been that great. So the idea that we still are in the era where we are not necessarily we are still in the industrial age per se. I don't think we have even started the industrial age in Ghana properly. But we have the mindset that white collar jobs are the most important thing.
Well, I think a lot of parents are looking out for their kids. Because if you look at let's say visual arts students from my day and age, I remember someone telling me that if you do visual arts, you come and become the people that draw signs by the roadside, and create the banners for events and the rest. But we've got a lot of WhatsApp messages that we're going to read. I've seen so many people. Someone, you see, and this is a tool that I'm glad somebody sent something in PowerPoint, because PowerPoint is actually a very powerful tool if you know how to use it.
To be fair, I didn't know how powerful it was. So there was this random day, I think 2 years ago, I came here early and I came to hang with you in the office, and you were doing some stuff on PowerPoint. I was like, hey yo, I didn't know you could do this.
PowerPoint is really powerful.
It's very powerful.
But people sleep on that. So there are times when I've been left with a computer with no Photoshop or anything, and I've had to use PowerPoint. And stuff came out well. So Yana, our very own favorite, she says, so I'm a great graphic designer, and Charlie, it ain't easy, cry. I say that people don't tell scientists or business people how to do their work, but when it comes to you designing something for them, they want to tell you how to do it. I know art or design is subjective, but clients should trust us that we know what we're doing. They can give their suggestions and opinions, but don't dictate everything. To quote the Bible, I have many more things to say to you, but you cannot bear them now. One day, we the designers will go on strike. There's this funny video, I kind of summarized the journey between graphic designers and clients. People can search for it on YouTube. It's called The Process, aka Designing the Stop Sign video. Original. Thank you, Yana, for your suggestion, for your submission. Ray says, hello guys, nice topic. I've been a professional designer for 22 years. In short, our job doesn't pay in Ghana. The agency does not pay well. How many agencies in Ghana can pay a designer $3,000 to $5,000 a month? That's why we end up doing a lot outside. What the good and old agencies do is they allow the creative to write a brief, which will then be passed on to the creative team. Great. Thank you very much for that, Ray. Efomali from La Paz says, good evening, guys. You guys are right. Anything design is hard, including fashion design. Absolutely. That's why the tailors will take your material and then you see it. So scroll. I can't see. Sayram says, I don't know how to design with Photoshop or CorelDRAW, but I try to do with PowerPoint. Absolutely, like we're just saying, and I saw your stuff, and that's why I made that point. PowerPoint is a great tool. It's very powerful if you know how to use it. Hence the name. Yeah, it's a powerful tool. Okay. So please send us your messages. Ajman Joseph says, good evening, guys. Great show. Spiky, please ask for me if a customer pays upfront or has been charged for work to be done and it turns out to be poor, what happens to his or her money? Okay. Yes.
So this is a very question. This is a very, very good question. And I've had very interesting experiences with what the definition of
good or
bad is. And I've realized
I think that's what Yana said. It's subjective.
It's a problem. So some years
like
ago,
the BMW M4.
Some years ago, I got a project that I was super excited. I typically don't get excited about many things. I was actually very excited to shoot this ad. I wrote the ad. I even had Michael helping me do.
Oh gosh, I remember that.
Shots and everything, like the storyboarding and everything. I went through the entire process. I made sure that I shot the dummies of how the ad is going to be and everything. And we're like, okay, we kept going through the process. Now we shoot the ad. The company didn't pay upfront to shoot the ad, so we had to put the money to shoot the ad. And since it's from our pocket, we told them that if they gave us the money, we would be able to do more better. They were like, nah, they can't, blah blah blah, all kind of things. So we had to put our money into it and shoot. Fine. We shoot. They're like, oh, this is great. Then they ask for certain redos. Then they're like, oh, the wall, there's some things on the wall that I don't like. Come back and come and reshoot. All these things, they are not increasing the what we charge. At the end of the day, we finish, and there was a first ad that we made that was true to the concept we had addressed, we talked about, and everybody had agreed on. By the time we finished the process, the ad had changed into something else. Turns out that someone at the agency was using his mind to decide what was good. The head of the company, who was Japanese, comes and they played a new ad, the one that the agency people said was the good one. They played it for him, and he was like, okay, cool. And then he was like, oh, there's another file. Let's play that one. They play it, and that's the one my colleagues and I were the ones who created that whole thing. His words were, we are choosing that one, right? So when they had to call us back and tell us that, yo, can you guys clean up the previous one that you did? And I'm like, so if I had lost all the files, or if I deleted them because you guys said that it wasn't bad. So there are certain instances where the bad work is extremely subjective. Typically what will happen is that we will give you a fixed number of do-overs. 2. Sometimes we tell you 2 do-overs for free. Any other extra you pay so and so amount. It's locked in. If we talked about it being this way, and I've done it, if what you said was the logo must be red with blue, it has to say ABCD, and to the general public what I've done is what you said, you have to pay me.
Yeah.
And there's another what you're talking about is really true, because for me personally, like, I normally use contracts to save my ass when it comes to things like this. So in scenarios where like the person doesn't like let's say the artwork or the video or the motion graphics or whatever, through the process you've done some part payments, right? So with that, if in case you don't want to go forward with me, I've done the work. It's not like I didn't do it. So out of maybe the 50%, I'm going to strike 25% out of the 50% for what you made me go through, because it's a work that has been done. Yeah. Then you're not going to use it. This like for the time that you made me go through. Then we just go up from there. So basically, that's what I mostly do when it comes to like situations like that. But aside that,
the worst part of this work is not good conversation comes in when you're shooting live events. That is the absolute worst, because what happens is that there are certain times where you tell the people or the organizers of the events that I need so and so access. This is the type of access I need to get the shots that you require. They don't give you that access, but they somehow expect you to get those shots. Another annoying one, the most annoying one is shooting weddings. That's one of the reasons why I stopped shooting weddings. I am coming to shoot the exchange of ring. You with your big iPad, you come and block me.
You know,
There have been several times that thing has upset me so much that if we didn't have like a rover, another camera person who was doing handheld and moving around, we would not have got the shot. But if there's a problem, they'll be like, why didn't you get that?
And literally,
your family members block.
And literally, that's the most expensive. I said the most important part of the
exchange of vows. But people with their phones and will come and stand in front of you that and when you tell the people in front, can you please give me way? They get upset with you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Listen, if you are listening to us and you go to a wedding and you are, in fact, especially those who are videoing with iPads, please stop
down.
it. Okay, stop it. Just give your phone number to the bride and the groom and let them send you the video when it's done. Your video, you know, the annoying part. That video or that photo you're taking
will never be seen again.
Never be seen again.
By anybody. You pay, and you only look at it that day.
Don't be posting that day.
Or you probably drop it in a group.
But
that's it.
I have a terrible story.
Or get a phone with 200 times zoom or 100 times zoom and then zoom from wherever you are.
I have a terrible story when it comes to clients and consumption of what they've asked for. But our producer is here on our next one.
So yeah, we have to go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, I've seen some messages here that I'll read, and then we'll talk about Pepsi's $1 million logo change. We'll be right back.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
And we're back. So, Michael, what is today's tech jargon of the week?
Today's tech jargon of the week is image resolution, which is very relevant to the topic at hand. And what it is the detail that an image holds, and it applies to images, videos, and anything visual. And generally speaking, the higher the resolution, the more detailed the image is, and it can be measured in various ways. And with
the tape measure,
not with the tape measure,
okay.
But it's basically the computer quantifies how close details are to each other, and what the term is for that is to be resolved. That is where the word resolution comes from. So the more details you have closer to each other, then the better resolved or a higher resolution your image is. So
how do I check the resolution of an image before I send it to a graphic designer to design something for me?
I think Romeo should tell us why this is super important.
Yes, Romeo. Why is the resolution important?
The resolution is important when it comes to like it's mostly important when it comes to print media, because with print media, like when you have a very high resolution, you can use it on a lot of platforms. So when it comes to like billboards or like books, so that like you won't find yourself wanting when you're printing it in a large
format.
Yeah, in a large format. So I think that's the main reason why like you having a higher resolution of images is quite important.
So do you have a basic, like a minimum resolution you normally ask your clients to send their stuff in?
So mostly I normally do is it 300 dpi.
Just about 300 dpi.
300 dpi translates to 300 dots per inch.
Yeah.
So per every inch, there's 300 dots.
300 dots, and
but we are not seeing the dots. So
that's what I was asking whether I go to use a tape
So that's when it comes to pictures.
That's
right.
Yeah, that is the standard unit of measurement for. That's the basic. That's a basic measurement for
So-
when you are
so basically-
sending images to a print house.
Yeah.
If your images are lower than that, and typically images on the computer are usually, especially of the internet, 72 dpi,
Yeah.
which is far lower than 300.
That's a whole 230,
Yeah.
229 to be specific.
Because someone who's good at math. So when you're forwarding these images to your graphic design, use this for the print work, you're making their work infinitely more difficult.
And send
Now-
it on
And
WhatsApp.
steps share it on WhatsApp.
Yeah,
WhatsApp,
I mean, I was just about to say. So I've gotten a 300 DPI image, then I send it
Through your
as
WhatsApp.
through your WhatsApp
Oh, spoiler, sports destroyed. Because WhatsApp, by its nature,
or
would
compress.
compress and downgrade the image as far as it can. So it looks good to the human eye, but as far as the computer is
It's-
concerned, when you're
it's
designing this thing,
smaller.
it is
Yeah.
smaller and
So,
almost
Romeo, how
unusual.
should people use WhatsApp to send you?
So when you're using WhatsApp to send pictures to your clients, you have to send it through like as a document file.
Please, you know what? This one I are going to say today. I asked somebody to send me something as a document. They said how, because the process on an iPhone is different from the process.
Yeah. On
Let
Android.
them just email it.
Okay. That also
Saving
works.
yourself, that's wahala.
Always.
Please, what if I don't use email? I only WhatsApp.
You will learn today.
You, thank you. I should do that thing. Like Kevin Hart, you gonna learn today. Or use my beloved Telegram.
You know what? Hopefully, before the close of the week, we'll create videos showing people
How to send a video as a document.
Yeah.
As a file,
File.
a file as a document or as a file.
Yeah.
Because
So
on iPhones, you're sending it as a file.
on Android and iPhone. So
Yeah.
Michael, be like you, they handle the iPhone.
The
Eh?
iPhone side. Screen recording, don't worry. we'll do
Yeah,
it.
do that. And send
So Douglas said, General hey, this is your titles. So he's called us today. I'm just passing by, but can someone with general arts background do computer science in a university? Why not?
Yeah.
You
there
can.
There are lots
Yes.
of computer science is not only. I mean, computer science when you are learning it in Ghana University. I know what I'm saying. It can be some styles, but if you can hang in there, you'll
When
be
you say
fine.
Ghana University, you have to qualify, bro. Because Ashesi is still a Ghana University.
Do we consider Ashesi as a Ghana?
Yes, it is.
Come on,
Ashesi.
you and I on the streets know that nobody considers them. But that, yeah, you can if you are able to get in, if you get the good enough grades, because there's a lot of visual aspect of computer science.
Okay, so let me read this. This is a long one, but good evening, guys. Nice discussion this evening. I'm really enjoying the discussion. Thank you. Producer Scroller. My issue happens to fall on a phone repairer. Now, this phone repairer, I give my phone to change the screen. Charge me 300 Ghana cedis for the screen and then 100 Ghana cedis. I asked him to get it done after, and when he's done, I'll bring the money. In fact, he does repair my phones for me. But this, he asked me to pay for the screen because he has to buy it. Understandable. All is a story now. Finally, he told me he was sick and used the money, other people's money for medicine. So I asked him to let me have the phone back and forget about the money. If I call him, he won't answer, or you switch off his phone. See how this man is treating me. I cannot introduce clients to him. What should I do to him? Frederick,
I'm sorry that we are laughing.
I'm sorry you're laughing. I know it's your serious matter, but yeah, the fact that you use your money to go hospital and other people's money. So hi geeks, to Joseph's question, what is bad work? To me, bad work is what we haven't agreed on. But there are difficult clients who are so difficult to appreciate works. Meanwhile, it was the same work they saw and showed interest. That's from Rahul in Adidome. Thank you very much, Rahul. We've got another one. It's bad orientation from whomever that has been passed on from generations. One of the main reasons why government and institutions has done nothing regarding the arts is because you have old mafias who are conditioned to think the arts is for kobolos and dumb folks.
I've never seen
You see
Kubolo
that thing.
spelled out.
Well, one loved the kobolo.
I don't think I've seen his name spelled out.
These people occupy the highest decisions in offices today. Their narrative has not changed. Meanwhile, the arts is a multi-trillion industry waiting for whoever sees the light to milk it. It's time to unlearn. No, Tom.
It's
That's from
actually-
Nanakwisi.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Korea changed its entire economy using the arts industry.
Yeah,
I'll tell
we've
that
got
story
a lot.
another
We've got a lot of, capability. And Sayram has sent a lot of stuff that he's done with PowerPoint, and they are amazing. Thank you for sharing. And yes, you put the power in PowerPoint. So, guys,
Let us know if you want us to have a part 2 of this conversation.
So
Yeah, remember your last words.
So what I would advise is that before I end myself, 27th April is graphic design day. So all the graphic designers 27th
but that's
April
past
is-
though.
April.
Yeah, so next year.
Like, so next
year.
So I'm just putting it out there. Like
they should do something for you.
Yeah, for all graphic like agencies to do things for their graphic design, and also like as a graphic designer, if you want to like escape this kind of loopholes with you having clients rejecting your artworks, what you can do is that you have to create 2 artworks where one will be very bad and one will be very good. Then you share the bad one with your client first,
and on that bombshell,
then later on you just give the good one. It will save you a lot of time.
Thank you very much. So yes, one bad one, one good one. We're switching up to the news. Michael is standing here ready. Thank you for joining us. My name is Kobby Spiky Nkrumah. This has been Geek Squad. We'll